Hi, Andrea. It's Margie with Basmati. How are you?
Hey, Margie. I'm terrific. Thank you. How are you today on this full moon?
I'm great. I'm really great. I've been up early. It's really warm already. It's going to be like 106 here.
Yeah.
Checked on the plants and, it's just so beautiful right now. The heat's a little much, but it's okay, Excited that we're doing this on the full moon. And today we're doing our new moon chat, but I believe it's July 23rd, right?
Correct.
Yay, and so I can't wait to hear about this one. Actually, I have felt the energies, maybe it's just due to the full moon, but just how everything feels so interconnected, and we talked about this a little bit, but courage came in, and I watched a great movie last night that spoke to me a lot about that. Right? Our individualism and courage. So do tell.
Okay, I'm just going to recap again. The new moon is a starting point. It's a time for us to set our intentions and begin ideas that will come to fruition actually 6 months later when the full moon occurs in the same sign. So this new moon is in Leo, and the full moon is on January 31st of 2018. So we've got this starting point for the next 6 months. And a new moon is when the sun and the moon work together. The moon is empty. It is like an empty cup, and we can fill it with our intention. Now, the sun rules our identity, our basic nature, or our inner self. And the moon represents our innermost needs and feelings. So when the sun and the moon work together during a new moon, we're given an opportunity to integrate the conscious with the unconscious energies of the sign that they're working through. And so, again, this month, the new moon is taking place in the sign of Leo, which is the 5th sign of the zodiac. It is symbolized by the lion and the lioness, the king or the queen of the jungle. And so lion energy is dignified and strong, powerful. So that's what we're going to be talking about this month, is this Leo energy. And how does it affect us? And how can we use these energies to create what we want in our life?
Sounds perfect.
Right. So again, the journey, Leo is about the journey of the lion. The ultimate purpose of the lion is, and that energy is to know your purpose, to know our purpose, and how do we fit into the greater plan of life. And so people who have Leo characteristics, and don't forget this is on a collective level, but I would like to hone it down to people who are specifically working with these energies very strongly in their chart. Leo people are strong, courageous, they're leader-type people. They have an inner warmth to them. They're romantic. They're creative. And they're expressive. I mean, they have a flair for the dramatic. Leo people usually love acting or some sort of that creative self-expression. And also Leo energy wants to give love and happiness to those people around them that are important to them. Mm-hmm. And again, why does Leo have these characteristics? And it's got to do with the sole reason for these characteristics is to know who you are and your purpose. So the themes this month that we're working with are your unique individuality, your sense of wholeness, and self-mastery. So, Margie, what comes to mind for you with Leo energy?
You said something when we spoke a while ago about our individuality and who we are and how that relates to the collective or the whole, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And as I think about that, I think when we fine-tune and become more connected to who we are in our individual purpose, it's not that we disconnect from everything. It allows us to have a strength inside of us to operate in the world where we have our courageous individuality, right? But we also allow that to shine through and spread in all the actions. And that light, that having that purpose inside of us, shines that and mirrors that to others. So what do you think? How does that work with the collective?
That was beautifully said. So when you're looking at a zodiac wheel, you can see that there are opposing signs. And Leo, the lion, opposes Aquarius, the water bearer. And we're going into the sign of Aquarius right now. The whole world is moving into Aquarian energy. And Aquarius is very much about what's good for the collective. And sometimes people feel like, well, somebody's got to decide what's good for the collective and we all have to capitulate. But in reality, we never want to lose our authentic self. Our individuality is what makes our light shine. It's our solar fire, right? I mean, that sun, Leo is ruled by the sun, so it's solar fire. It's your inner self, your basic nature. And so the key is to use that will center of the lion to be for the higher purpose, to find its place in the whole. And how can you shine your personal inner warmth, your enthusiasm, and your creativity for everyone around you? So it's not just about your need and what you're thinking and what you have to do. It's about who's receiving this energy. What are you doing for them?
You know, when you're speaking, I just saw this like prism of light, right? And how our individuality is a cause for celebration. And so in each of these lights, like beaming, creating this like beautiful space, right? And so they're all unique in their color, shape, and design. And that's the cause for celebration. But when they come together, they create this amazing space, right?
Right.
And so that just popped in.
Well, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That actually connects perfectly to that. During this new moon in Leo, that connection that you just expressed of the prism individuating its light, but we're still part of the prism. So yes, let's individuate our unique color and our uniqueness. But remember that we are part of the whole. There's a conversation going on here between the sun and moon in Leo, and then Chiron in Pisces. And in this, the Sabian symbol that I'm using for Chiron in Pisces is that aspect of your relationship, your unique individuality, and your relationship to the whole. So that prism is perfect, perfect description. And to remember that we've all been wounded on Chiron represents the wound. We've all been wounded very early on in being individuated, knowing that there's more to life. Sometimes we feel very alone in this world. That's our Chiron wound, but it's an illusion. We are part of the one. There is nothing more than the love of the oneness that we're in. And I know that sounds woo-woo, but we are all connected.
Well, no, when we forget our connection to divinity, which is us, in us, that's when we feel lost, right?
Right.
You know, and we don't have to, as I think about it, and these colors come in and everything, if the person next to you isn't shining bright, it's okay. It's totally okay. We hold that space with our individuality and remember our deep connection either to the one or the divine. And that is us. It is us, in us, and it's all around us. right?
Right.
Uh,
How
Go ahead.
it's for me it's always mind blowing when I remember that everything that I think, everything that I speak, everything that I do affects the whole. That's what I've come to believe the truth to be, is that the energies that I create within myself, maybe in a very small part, maybe it's just very small, but does affect the whole. I make an impact on the energy field. And so when we remember that aspect of this new moon that comes in, that's going to help us tremendously, because the other conversation that's going on is between Uranus and the sun and moon. And Uranus is about sudden strikes of independence and uniqueness, innovation and invention. And so what we're going to have a tendency to feel are these sudden urges to express ourselves, right? That we just, that we have this need to, I don't know, maybe make a grand impression. Maybe it's just on a lower level, so you can feel good emotionally, and maybe on a lower level it might mean you're too forceful in what you express, or you're not taking into consideration the feelings of others. But on a higher level, it's a connection to our authentic self, and who we are, and knowing ourselves and our purpose. So Uranus is this great lightning fire. So we have two forms of fire. We have solar fire in the form of the sun and our identity. And then we've got this lightning fire coming from Uranus. And it's in Aries, so it wants us to act. And I would caution, because if you act too soon, there's going to be some regret, maybe. It's got to do with just feeling uncomfortable and feeling the tension until you stop and go back to that other aspect we were talking about, the prism aspect. And when we go back to seeing ourselves as a unique ray, as part of the whole, and aligning with that, that's when the ease and grace comes in with Uranus, these sudden, it's a triangle. What we have going on is a type of triangle with easy aspects, difficult aspects, and a sort of like an opportunity. So it's the way I see it. When we tap into that ability as being a ray of the prism, that's our opportunity. Our opportunity to really see how we connect with everyone else. So when sudden bursts of inspiration come from Uranus, we can remember ourselves in relation to the whole, and then act or express our solar light. So that's it in a key, just sort of meditating and remembering who we are, and asking for that, asking for the universe to give you that knowing of who you are and how to shine your light is so important.
You know, and I think about when you say that, our interaction, every interaction, whether it's with our pets, whether it's in our garden, or our conversations, right, at the market, wherever you are, and we've all had this experience before where we've been somewhere, work, wherever, and someone comes in and they're projecting anger or whatever, right? And it changes the vibe of the room.
Right.
And when we remember that, and remember that when we shift into our own individuality, our connection to the divine, we have that same ability to shift. Just like you said, every bit when you remember that and you're connected to your true purpose, it does shift the energies around you and link to the consciousness. So when those bursts come in, right, when we feel that, and maybe it's a challenging time for us and want to react in some way, go back into that heart center and remember your connection and watch how we have the ability to calm things down and actually not change the whole necessarily, but remind people and mirror to them who they really are. Right?
Exactly. It's so much about it as it is about love and compassion first, both for yourself and another, to see that we're all connected. And at this point with Chiron in Pisces, it's very much about healing humanity, healing yourself and healing through humanity through your emotions, your sensitivity, intuition, and even maybe your psychic abilities. It's very, and it's connected to the whole, right? We are not standing out alone. You can't have alone without a group. In order to describe alone, you need to describe a group, right? We are also the group and the collective. And so when we heal ourselves, we radiate out authenticity to the group. And so that's why I've sort of dubbed this Leo new moon as courageous individuality, so that we can, again, be more authentic.
Yes, that's beautifully said. That's so perfect. Andrea, I just love these chats. I love the new moon and full moon chats, and I really am grateful, so grateful.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Margie.
Oh, of course, honey. This is Andrea with awakenastrology.com. Super fun, and thank you again so much, so much. Enjoy this beautiful day.
Thanks, Margie. You too. Stay cool.
Yeah, I will try. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Margie. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.